My name is Rochelle Crump, and I am president and founder of the National Women Veterans United. Welcome to CAN TV Veteran Issues. Tonight, I want to talk about the National Women Veterans United, and then also I have some general information for you. I'd first like to start out by giving our phone support a shout out. We want to thank Letty Butler, our association chairman, for helping us out on the phones tonight. And so we do want to hear from you also. So our number will be posted on the ledger as it is now, 312-738-1060. So we do want to hear from you this evening. And I also want to give a shout out to our new vice president, Lane Knox. She's not joining us tonight because she's out of state, but we do want to acknowledge her as our new vice president. And also we want to acknowledge our new board member who came from being the vice president, Dr. Constance Edwards, for now being on our board. And also, I am proud to say that I am again the president of the National Women Veterans United. And I am so elated about the election at our facility, as well as the new agenda and initiatives that we will have coming up for women veterans and their families, because that is so important. And if you're just joining us for Veterans Issues, in case you don't know, we operate the only women veterans center in the state of Illinois. And I'm going to give you the information of where we're located somewhere down the line in our talk this evening. But I do want to remind people about women veterans being veterans, because so often they forget. And because we don't necessarily look like veterans, and because people don't assume we're veterans, but we are. And sometimes you can tell that by the proud license plate that we have that indicates that we are women veterans. But sometimes because they have the Bronze Star and they have other military license plates, you still don't know. And that's one reason why we're so proud of that Women Veterans license plate, in which we advocated for, and also it was my idea. From the idea that we saw in a couple of other states, so, well, actually two at the time. And so we are so proud that our legislators awarded us that license plate. And I would like to also just thank everyone who supported the National Women Veterans United end of the year dinner dance that supports the operations of our facility, in which we provide peer-to-peer support, clothing, toiletries. We have access for the computers where women can come in and they can do resumes, they can use our fax machines, they can search for employment, they can look at webinars. In addition to, they can get food. We do have a small food bank there. And then they have the opportunity pretty much to have camaraderie with other women veterans, basically, who share like experiences with them. And it is such a great honor that we are continuously meeting new partners all the time. And so we want to give out, shout out to the Link Inc., and those women who we will be partnering with very soon in the future. Also, we'd like to give you our web address also, and that'll be coming up also for the website. And go to our website and take a look at some of the other veteran initiatives that are on the website that gives you information. In particular, there is some new information about the veterans property tax for disabled veterans. And that's really huge, because as we come into a new year, you have to reapply for that exemption, for that property tax exemption. And we want to make sure that everyone knows. And so the best thing to do is to always check those entities to find out each year where you stand with the property taxes. And then you can even call them, the assessor's office, and get information about that. Also, I want to inform you, if you go to our website also, you'll find out that there is a Women's Summit coming up. And this year they selected Dallas, Texas, which is going to be held in March. I believe it's March the 17th through the 18th. But that information is on the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs website under Women. So if you take a look there, you will see that initiative coming up. And also, there have not been a summit since 2011. So this will be a very meaningful one in order for people to connect together. It's a relatively short time frame for basically getting together, traveling, and trying to get women together. But because women veterans are so eager to participate and to find out more about their VA benefits and services that they're entitled to or that they need, then I believe that it will be a successful summit. We personally, the National Women Veterans United, I'm hoping that we will get some of our membership to go down to that summit, because I believe it will be important as we also push to become nationally known, in which we are getting there, because we go to Washington, D.C. every year, and we're waiting to go this year, but we're trying to coordinate it with the visit of the African American Museum. So we have our travel, we have the museum, and then we have our advocacy legislators visits that we have to do all in one trip. So that's quite a bit, but we're going to be diligently going to Washington, D.C., particularly now, because we'll have a new secretary in place. However, it is a great thing to find out that Dr. David Shulkin, I believe is his name, is going to be the pick for the Veterans Secretary. Now, Dr. Shulkin was the undersecretary for the VA, and I believe he came aboard in 2015. He was President Obama's pick, but I believe he has won that opportunity to serve in another capacity, which is good, because then he won't be new to the system coming in. He's already, been there long enough to assess what's going on in the healthcare system and our veterans benefits, our cemeteries, and those other entities in which the Center for Women Veterans actually falls under the Department of Veterans Affairs also. They have an office in Washington, D.C. However, they don't really operate statewide yet. They have an advisory council, and as I research that website just about every month, I see that the majority of those that are on the advisory council are right in the center of, near Washington, D.C., in Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, D.C., they're all populated around in those areas. So how are other states such as Chicago, Illinois, getting the information? Everybody doesn't check the website all the time. And really you should. You should go on the websites, periodically, and take a look at some of those things that basically are important to you, like your VA benefits. And also, like for women issues too. Not just for veterans, but for women in general. There's a women's advocacy group. There are women councils. The Department of Human Services has one. Human Services and Health has one. And those things are important to know what's going on, particularly in health. I mean, a big, huge thing that we need to be looking at now is violence against women. We need to be looking at, how we can better help children, male and female. What else can we do in our communities to make our communities better? And I say that strongly because as veterans, we had the best training in the world to be able to advocate in our own communities for where we live and the places where we support our businesses in the community. So we want to make sure that our surroundings are safe. We want to make sure that we can build relationships with not just the people in the same block that we're on, but passerbyers, with the younger people in the community. That's why we adopted our Girl Scout from St. Felicia's, and we want to give a shout out to them as well. It's important that we work with young people all over the city, all over the state, because violence is not just in one area. You see every day there's a different a different spot, in the suburbs. You're hearing more and more about violence in the suburbs, domestic violence, suicide, all of those things that we're sitting right in our communities. Things are happening around us and we just have no knowledge of. That's because we ignore who we live next to a lot of times, particularly, in the communities that are in the city. People kind of want to just stay to themselves because of what's going on. There's so much going on that we forget that it takes a village. And so we encourage our veterans to get involved in the community. That's how they find out about the silent heroes in the community. We have veterans who have served all over this world, land, air, and sea, who basically have made great strides and marks in history in the armed forces, but nobody knows about them. We have our Montford Point Marine Association in the community, the first World War II African American Marines, sitting right at 71st and Vincennes. Our Women Veterans Organization is comprising of women of all branches of service, every war era, peacetime as well. And so we have officers, we have enlisted, and then we have all walks of life. But one thing we have in common, the bond that we have, is that we all served. And so we continue to serve. We continue to serve in our community. So we encourage veterans to get involved in organizations that are doing things in their community, that are doing things to support younger people, the younger veterans that are coming out. We need to support them. We all know what we came through in the veterans entity. At the hospitals, the changes that needed to take place, one for privacy for women, and that's still not secure. I was just in the hospital the other day and, in a room, and even though the door was open, you don't just walk in a room when you have a patient sitting there, particularly a female patient. You wait. So the maintenance person walked in again. Excuse me. Those are just unacceptable. And how many times do we have to train staff that is unacceptable? So my letter to the new director, in which, I want to build a relationship with also, is to tell him still that we have privacy issues, and then also as women, we don't want to be sitting downstairs in the hospital where everyone passes by and there you are, you have to take your coat off, and if I have on a long sleeve shirt, now I got to start undressing my clothing so that you can take my pressure right in the middle of the hospital floor. No, that's unacceptable. Those things are not private. Healthcare has confidentiality. You're asking things of me, and we need to make sure that they adhere to the policies and procedures and guidelines that have been put in place for privacy. So although the VA has done a remarkable job, I have to say that everyone was very friendly to me. They were welcoming, but that really agitated me that I had to go through that. So if you have any comments you want to call in on anything I've said so far or to give a shout out, please give us a call at 312-738-1060. 312-738-1060. I want to hear your comments about anything that you think that they should be doing with the new secretary coming in. This is going to be huge because now they're trying to, from what we hear, they're trying to privatize the VA healthcare system. It looks like they're moving in that direction. Ever since, they had the big thing about the wait times, and because of the cover-ups and the illegal things that were done to hide statistics about how many people were waiting and being treated, it looks more and more like it's moving to the private segment. So give us a call if you have some comments on that at 312-738-1060. And then I want to talk about VA benefits. That's going to be important too, because as you know, the new regime that is coming in is going to be looking at everything. They're going to be looking at compensation. They're going to be looking at the pension benefits, burials, because it's all about the money right now, and the money that they need to basically put in place that they feel the spending has been outrageous and has not been in sync with, the economy. So we have to make sure that we can protect our VA benefits. And at no given time, other than if you've had your benefit for over 20 years, are those benefits guaranteed to you? So at any given time, you could be called for an examination. They can determine that you have improved, your condition has improved, and then your benefit could be either reduced and or eliminated. And then you go into the appeal process. It already takes a long time to get your benefits. So, we have to be careful with how our benefits are administered to us, and then also be prepared. You have to be prepared. And one of the things that, we're really pushing this year is about financial security. We have to look at veterans and their financial security. When we were in the military, life was good, because we had housing on base. We had, an opportunity to save money. We had an opportunity to spend money. And then when you came out, it all changed, because then, you were faced with reality, really is what it is. You're faced with reality that everything costs. And it costs a whole lot of money sometimes, particularly for housing. Because you want to live in a nice place, you want to live in a safe place, and then you want to be able to be free to spend money and do the things that you like to do. We all do. But we have to be more stewards in maintaining finances. And we have to teach these young people that too. This is important, because if they get older and they start looking at retirement, and you start looking at retirement, you can't wait until you get 50 and 60 years old to find out that, hey, you're only going to have this amount of money, and now you're trying to figure out, where do you go from here? This is important, so we have to do more in the community along that line also. And then making sure that all of your paperwork for wills and testaments and your wishes, concerning your medical health and things like that, are written down, and that there are documents for them. Like what they call the medical, you have to have a medical attorney signature for you to be able to be that person to make decisions about one of your family members' care. Those things are important, and we have to learn about them, and then we have to make sure that everybody else knows about them too. So if you have any questions about what I'm talking about, or you have another comment that you'd like to make, please give us a call at 312-738-1060. And the National Women Veterans United is moving forward with looking at our programs and how we can do more in the community. We want to make sure that that facility is utilized by veterans, and we don't just have women veterans in there. We invite men who come to some of our programs. These last couple of months, we've had a partnership with the Georgia Doty Community Center, who came in and gave a presentation on HIV. This last month, they came in to talk about HCV, and they did free testing. We didn't just have them to test the women veterans. We invited all veterans entities and some outside agencies. We had a barbershop right next door to us. We went and told the people in the barbershop to come over and get free testing. These things in a community are important, so we want to make sure that we give that information to everyone in the community. But I want to just take this minute to give you our information, our address. And we are the National Women Veterans United. Our Illinois Community Women Veterans Center is located at 790709. That's two doors. One is at 7907 and the next door is 09. It's on South Racine, so that's 79th and Racine, Chicago, Illinois, 60620. Our phone number there is 872-731-2150. Our email address is nwvu.org@gmail.com. Our website, which is very important because we want you to go to our website, it is nwvu.org, because pretty much they stopped using www, so now you just put in the acronym of nwvu.org for this particular website, and you should be able to go right to our site. So again, that phone number is 872-731-2150. And on that, if you don't get a live person, on the recorder, it has a phone number. It is my direct number in case you have to call. Again, I would advise you, because our hours are staggered, that you take that number down also. You know, unfortunately, because our staffing is short, we have a phone number on there so that you can actually make contact with me just in case you've called more than once. So on the website, you'll find information about our organization too, just in case you lose that number. The phone number will be on our website also. And so we want to encourage you to continue to look at your veterans benefits and entrepreneurship. The state, the city, everyone is, and the federal is pushing for entrepreneurship and small businesses. Small business will also allow you to be the owner and also to have income that's derived from your own business. It's important that if in fact employment does not suit you, a 9 to 5, and or maybe you're disabled and you haven't been able to work a full-time job, you know, entrepreneurship may be good for you, you know, or it's good for people who retire. Because what we want to do is teach some of our veterans who are not working now, who need to increase their income, is start looking at small business. I can't tell you that franchises are good or bad for you, but it is an option for you to look into. We also want to just tell you that, you know, if in fact you don't have access to computers, then if you're a female, you can contact us and we can allow you to come in and use our computers. Our male comrades, we encourage you to go to the library. If you live close by us, you know, and we can validate that you're a veteran, then we possibly could allow you to come to our center also. But we'd like to do it at a time when we're having some things that are going on, and that would make it more easier for your transition to use our facility. And then we will be having more health initiatives coming up. We have a book club. We have arts and therapy crafts, and we want to give a shout out to the Help Hospitalized Veterans Association, who provides us with monthly arts and crafts. And that's good for those who have post-traumatic stress disorder, who have traumatic brain injury, post-traumatic or military sexual trauma. That's really good. So we're out of time right now. I want to thank you for watching CAN TV. I'm sorry you didn't have any questions for us, but please, I gave you the phone number on our website. Please look us up, and then we ask that you continue to watch CAN TV on the third Thursday for women veterans and on other Thursdays for veterans issues. Thank you.